Okay, can you hear me? I don't know if we're on. Okay, come on. Can you guys see and hear me now? I don't know if this is working. Oh, yay! What a nightmare. The only time my tech guy outside is not here today, and it all stuffs up. Hi, Flick. Hopefully everybody else is on there. Kim, are you still on there? Oh, Janet can hear me. Excellent. All right. What a nightmare. I don't know what happened. This has never happened before. So the circle kept going round and round and round, and it wasn't showing up. And I thought, well, this has never happened before. So I started to tweak. Maybe I tweaked too much. Maybe I didn't tweak enough. Anyway, we're here now. Thank the Lord. All right. So my apologies for that. Hopefully I've got Kim back. Hopefully she can see and hear me. And there was a couple of others that were on there originally. So, yeah. Okay. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Q&A Thursday. Welcome, Toolmasters. Now, this has... thank you for joining me because I did tell you last week that we wouldn't be having this on. Now things have changed and it's next week now that we're not going to have it on. So I'm so excited that you did join me last minute. So thank you very much. I've got a really great question to share with you that came through with Mark. And so I would want to share that with you. I've also got some news at the end that I want to share with you as well, mainly around our Expert Secrets interview that we did, and also about going live and how we're going with that sort of process. So bear with me till the end and we'll have a chat. Okay, so I am going to, I don't think we've got Kim back. I'm hoping she'll come back. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. So bear with me for 20 seconds. Kim, if you're not on, try reconnecting. There's a button down the bottom that you can try and reconnect, and hopefully that'll work for you. Okay, all good? All right, so live coaching, 3rd of August 2017. Where is this year going? Unbelievable. All right, so the question from Mark. So thank you, Mark, for sending that through. So it's how do I conduct a difficult conversation? Now, this has been brought up quite a bit, and it's a really, really great question because it comes up time and time and time again in all different industries. And part of our job as a team leader is obviously we need to be able to conduct these difficult conversations because that's what's going to happen, right? Day-to-day activities are going to happen. Processes are going to be shortcutted, or there might be a bit of underperformance issues, or all those sorts of things. So it's really, really important as a team leader for you to be able to have those difficult discussions. So, okay. So what do? So first off, we need to ensure that we're going to be honest, right? So honesty is the best policy. So make sure you tell it like it is. So if you need to tell someone that they're underperforming, you need to say that you're underperforming. If you're disappointed in someone for not sort of delivering a project or a task on time, then you need to say that, I'm disappointed on how long it took to deliver the project. Now, being honest doesn't mean sugarcoating it. Being honest means delivering a message that is true and straight to the point. But there is a caveat over this. And the only caveat is it has to be done in a constructive way. So we'll go on and talk about how to do that in a constructive way. But what you don't want to do is make it so ambiguous, the messaging so ambiguous that you leave people wondering what on earth you're talking about, okay? So make sure that you are honest and authentic in the messaging that you want. And let's have a look at how you can do that in a way that is constructive and is going to set you up for success. So first off, make sure you have everything prepared. Really, really, really important. Have everything prepared ahead of time. So regardless of whether you choose to set the meeting up formally or informally, you have to have this preparation in place. So there's nothing worse for the person on the receiving end of what's essentially could be a kind of a negative message or something that's hard to take than to receive a load of fluff or told things that really aren't on point and what is truth. So make sure you download the conversation planners that you've got in the tool suite. have a look at those, answer the questions in those, and that'll give you some really succinct, direct pathway to be able to have this conversation in a true, authentic way, that it's in a constructive way. So you can have specific documentation to refer to, whether that be their job description or the policy they might have breached or anything like that. And then have a practice of it. So if you've got a bit of time before you need to have this conversation, have a practice either on a peer or a colleague or even in the mirror yourself. Sometimes that preparation is going to be all you need to set yourself up for success. So make sure you download that in the tool suite. It's there available for you now, so make sure that you've got that. So the other thing that you need to concern yourself about is be assertive, not aggressive. So when I say that, now I've done this myself when I was a young sergeant in the military, where, you know, the person on the receiving end quite understandably gets a bit defensive when it's quite a courageous or tough conversation to have. They become quite defensive. And what I did is then I started to raise my voice and become really uncomfortable. And all our body language ended up being aggressive, and it became a no-win situation. And it was really, really a good lesson for me, because when I reflected on that, I realised how much out of control I got. And I had to go back and apologise and say, you know, that wasn't good enough, you know, and I really apologise. Let's try this again, and let's do it with a win-win result versus a lose-lose. So the key is to be assertive, and that is being confident in the dialogue that you have with them, but do try to look for a win-win outcome. So try and receive a mutual satisfaction outcome which will benefit both parties, because being aggressive never served anyone well. And I know for a fact that that's the truth. So just try and do that if you can. Now, when I say be assertive, you've got your messaging there, you've got your conversation planner in front of you, and it's okay to have that in front of you. So you want to be confident in your dialogue, but if they start to get aggressive, and they may do, understandably people get upset, then you can give it space and silence. And lots of questioning. And we'll talk about what you can do with that in the next coming pages. So with that, don't be afraid to reconvene. You know, in the case where a team member starts to get really irrational or aggressive, which in my case that happened, then it's up to you to take control back of the meeting and say, do you know what? I understand that you're feeling a little emotive at the moment. What I want to do is I'm going to give us a 10-minute break. I'd love you to go and get a coffee. I'm going to go and get a coffee myself, and let's reconvene. Or you might even say, let's reconvene this afternoon or something. What I'd say is don't leave it too much time in between, but certainly give yourself some space to be able to, you know, get that sorted. So there'd be nothing gained in the short term by trying to assert your position. Because remember, in the end, you're the leader and it's your meeting, so you need to be able to control it with giving the message of their performance and deliver that message without any sort of commotion or issues or anything like that. So does everyone understand that so far? Yes, Janet? Good, excellent. All right, good one. Okay, so we've got that, right? Now, the other thing that you need to do, and we've said this a bit already, is stay away from the emotiveness. The circumstances for the poor performance might be perfectly valid ones, or ones that you know, somebody comes into you and they're going through some real personal crisis, and that's why there's a poor performance. So you're going to have a great deal of empathy for this particular person. Or they might come to you and say, no, it's not my fault, and start pointing fingers to other people. So the key is not to buy into that emotion as much as you can. If there is a reason that it is affecting their well-being and they have a personal situation, well, that's a whole different kettle of fish, right? And that's a whole different conversation. So allow the time to have a bit of a break and then gather themselves physically and emotionally, but still keep it important that you keep your message is getting delivered and you separate the emotion out. So you talk about the poor performance and what your expectation is on moving forward. And then you will say, but a separate conversation I want to have for you or with you is about your well-being. You know, this is a concern for me. I want to make sure that your well-being is okay. What do you need to support you in the short and long term to ensure that you're you have the coping mechanisms that you need and the resources that you need. So those are two separate conversations. So I hope this is making sense so far. Now, the biggest thing that I hear from leaders is, I don't even know how to start. How do I start this conversation? How do I begin it? And there's a few conversation openers that I've picked up over the years, and I've used them many, many, many times. In the module Courageous Conversations, which is, I think, module 5, you'll get all of this info along with much, much more. So make sure you watch out for that. But here's conversation starters, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read these, so I'm going to read them out to you. So this is just to start that conversation. Somebody might be poor performing. You need to go and have a chat to them. This is what you can say. I have something I'd like to discuss with you that I think will help us work together more effectively. So come and see me in 10 minutes and we'll have a chat about it. The next one could be, I'd like to talk about Project X with you, but first I'd like to get your point of view. So let's go and have a chat. The next one could be, I need your help with what just happened. So do you have a few minutes to talk? This is if something happens really immediately. So that's, if you can see something that's happened, it might be a process that's been broken, or an SOP, standard operating procedure, that's been broken. It might be a safety breach. So that's what you would say. I need your help with what just happened. So do you have a few minutes to talk? That can be that start. What about another one? I need your help with something. Can we talk about it today? And then if the person says, sure, let me get back to you, make sure you follow them up with it. So, okay, yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. I'm off shift at 5. Okay, go and get them at 5. The next one there is, I think we have different perceptions about Project X. I'd like to hear your thinking on this, so let's go and have a chat about it. I'd like to think about Project X. I think we may have different ideas about how to move forward with it. And the last one there, oops, I'll just go back up one. And the last one there is, I'd like to see if we might reach a better understanding about Project X. I really want to hear your feelings about this, and I want to share my perspective with you as well. So those conversation starters, this is just for you to get them in the room, right? And what you want to do is you want to create a neutral environment. You don't want to go bursting in there and say, oi, John, you buggered up today, get in my office, we're going to have a chat. Because that immediately is going to put them on the back foot, right? And they're going to be defensive. So these conversation starters is trying to set a neutral ground for you to get them in the same room so you can have that courageous conversation. You'll already have your planner set out. You'll already be able to know what questions you're going to ask. You'll already predict what their response is going to be. So therefore, you set yourself up for success. So is there any questions about any of that stuff at the moment? I think you guys are a bit of a delay for me. Okay, excellent, excellent. I am going to get you back now because it's question time. Excellent. So hopefully you got everything that you needed out of that, Mark, because, and I would say to you, download the conversation planner from the Team Leader Tool Suite. It's got some really good starters for you to really frame that conversation up really well. So have a look at that, fill it out beforehand, prepare any sort of bits and pieces that you need, whether it's policies, whether it's their position statement, anything that you need that will help your conversation roll, and then really predict what you think the outcome's going to be. So are they going to get emotive? What are you going to do about that? Are they going to get aggressive? What are you going to do about that? Yeah, excellent, Flick. Well done. Say what you mean what you say, and don't be mean about it. That's great. I like that. I'm going to steal that. Is that copyrighted? Okay, yes, absolutely. So you need to be not beating around the bush. The messaging has to be clear, has to be succinct, has to be true, but done in a constructive way so people can take that feedback on board and still understand that they're going to be out of their comfort zone, so they're going to take it in a tough way, and they're going to need a bit of nurturing to take that feedback on. So make sure that you're there for them to support them. But really, this is all about setting your people up for success. How can you support them moving forward? If they've slipped below your expectations, what do you need to put in place to lift them back up and make sure you reiterate those expectations so they can get it next time? If you find you've got a team member who is continuously falling below expectations, well, that's a whole different scenario conversation. That's more of going down the disciplinary line. So if you've had conversations with them about, hey, we're resetting expectations because you're actually below the expectations that we require, you've had that conversation, you've given them support, you've given the tools and resources to succeed, you've given them an extra bit of training or mentorship or whatever they need. If they're still not performing, then that goes into a whole different wave and goes down a more of a disciplinary line. And we can talk about that a bit later on. And we do talk about it in the Courageous Conversations module. So hopefully that will have all the stuff that you need in there. So Mark, I hope that helped you. I hope that helped you, Janet. I don't know if you're going to use that. And Flick, you've used this plenty of times, so I'm sure it's going to be stuff that you've heard before. So fantastic. So now it's time to, if you've got any questions yourself, feel free to have a chat to me. Put them online here. You can email them to me later on if you want to. While you're thinking if there's any questions, then I'm going to just share some news with you. So no Q&A next Thursday. Always having courageous conversations. I have no doubt, Flick. I have no doubt. You're good at them though. You're really good at them. You're good at that honest, authentic messaging, I must say. I know I've known Flick for a long time, so I know that she's good at that. Okay, so there's no Q&A on Thursday. I think I told you last week that I had some day surgery booked in. It was booked in for today. It got delayed till next week, which is why we weren't going to have this week, but now we have. Next week it's off. Okay, so I'll be a bit groggy, and I don't think you want to see me looking like that. Okay, so no Q&A Thursday next week. So I also talked to you a couple of weeks ago about an expert secrets interview that I had that went really, really, really well. This girl is absolutely amazing. She runs her own business. She's been in this leadership space for a long, long time. And she had some really great things to share with us and some new programs that are coming down the line, some new trends that are happening in the leadership space. So we had that a couple of weeks ago, and my videographer is having some issues with his editing software. So there's been a bit of a delay on that, but as soon as it comes through, I will let you know. But hold that thought, because it is coming down the line. It's just a matter of getting it all sorted. So bear with us on that one. And also I've been telling you about, yeah, you will love to see it, Flick. And I will send you an email and so that you can know that it's all been uploaded and ready to go. So initial marketing. So I told you a couple of weeks ago that we've actually gone out to the market just as a soft launch, just to see who's out there and what ponds we need to have to put our marketing in, of what gets the best response. We've done all that now. We've got the data back. There's some really good data coming through. So I just wanted to let you know that we're going for the hard launch, which means we'll actually be launching this program out to the masses. So I'm very excited. So you may find in the next few weeks there'll be more people on the webinars with us. There'll be more people on the closed Facebook page. So what I would love to see is, if you're not on the closed Facebook page yet, if you can get onto it, that would be really, really good. Get onto your closed Facebook page, so when these new people come in, if they've got any questions, you guys are already a few months into it. You can offer a bit of suggestions, insights, advice, you know, share successes, all those sorts of things with these people. So that would be great to see you on there. So get on there. I think I put it in the last email that I sent you, the access to the closed Facebook site. Get on there, bang your name in. I or one of my team will authorise it, and bang, you're in. So that closed Facebook page is purely for people that are going through this program. So you've got everything in common with regards to the modules and the tool suites and the webinars and all that sort of stuff. So you'll have that commonality with everybody else on there. So that's about it for me from today. Is there any questions from the floor at all? Has anyone got anything that they want to ask, or any thoughts, insights, anything you want to share? I'll wait 10 seconds and then see how we go. think I've told you before that I wait now because I signed off just as somebody asked a question last time. Excellent. All right. All good, Flick? All good, Janet? Well done. Yes, you have a great weekend too, Flick, and I won't be here next week, remember, so I will see you again in a fortnight's time. Fantastic, guys. Thanks for coming, and I will see you in a fortnight. You take care. Cheers. Bye.